Hey folks, I am recording a second video of the Legacy of Phrecia League, mostly just to record progress on this build. I am playing a Stormbrand of Indecision on Surfcaster, so that all my damage is converted to cold, giving me a couple vectors for stacking. I'm going to run a T11. This build is squishy as hell. I may die several times. We'll see how it goes. We'll get started. We'll do a Mesa. Okay, so one of the weird quirks of this build is I am using the Thunderstruck keystone, which makes it so that I push away mobs whenever I shock them. So I can just basically eternally push away these mobs, and they won't ever really get close to me if I am doing it correctly, which helps for the fact that, like, this build is squishy as hell. So I'm also using Herald of Ice pops to help with clear. I have nothing but energy shield, and that is a choice. This is the exact opposite of most builds that I make, because, like, normally my builds are extremely sturdy, but they are not. This is a super squishy build. And if I can get through this map, I will talk about it some more, but I mostly just wanted to show off some gameplay. I am using Betrayal mostly because it's a large chunk of experience every time I talk to one of these people. And I mostly just need levels at this point, because levels will help a lot of the issues that I have with this build, because I just don't have enough points yet. I am not going to do an expedition or anything like that. See, I'm pushing these guys away, which is hilarious. I'll talk about that some more. Let's go ahead and do the boss, and then I'll port out to my hideout, and there we go. And there's boss down. And I'll probably come back and finish the map out later, but mostly I just wanted to show kind of what it feels like, and then we'll talk about the build. So starting over on Shadow, I'm basically picking up, Ghost Dance to improve my survival chances. As much reservation as I can get. Pain Attunement, because I have no life. And then, power charges and crit. And I'm going heavily into clusters, so I've got Storm Drinker and Prismatic Heart on this one, and then Grand Design, Brand Loyalty, Remarkable, Seeker Runes, Thunderstruck, which is the node in question. Your critical strikes knock back shocked enemies. And I did not realize this was going to be as effective as it is. And as a result, I just kind of gave up rolling these things. And when I hit, something with Widespread Destruction, which puts that in the back, and Prismatic Heart and another node, I'm like, okay, yeah, we'll go for it, because that gives me some lightning damage and some crit strike chance. And this means I'm eternally hitting the mobs with lightning crits, and each tick of Stormbrand of Indecision is basically happening every 0.13 seconds. So it is knocking them back constantly. And then grand design and remarkable, so I can get more brands. And other than that, just the brand nodes. And again, some point, yeah. So here's the sovereignty wheel, so more reservation. And other than that, I'm just running summon lightning golem for cast speed, elemental weakness, since I think I'm technically doing lightning and cold damage. But so basically the secret sauce of this is Stormy Seas. 100% of lightning damage is converted to cold damage. And your cold damage can shock. So all of the damage that I'm dealing is both shocking and freezing. And then this is a little bit of a additional damage and also a little bit of survival. This is just a generically good stat, which increases movement cast and damage. And then sea legs. Critical chance is increased by overcapped lightning resistance. Evasion is increased by overcapped cold resistance. So I guess the other thing that I should talk about while I'm on here is I have recently gone into a Melding of the Flesh build. So my goal is to eventually have 90% all elemental res. And right now I'm up at 82. My evasion is pretty decent. My energy shield is essentially my life bar because I have almost all my life reserved and almost all my mana reserved. And I am running Clarity and Herald of Ice and Purity of Elements because I don't want to have to deal with managing elemental ailments some other way. And it's also just more stats, which get translated by that thing that gives me stuff overcapped resistances. Purity of Lightning, mostly to give me maximum lightning. Discipline to give me energy shield. Grace to give me evasion. And Wrath Aura to scale my lightning damage, because the lightning damage gets scaled, then it gets converted to cold, and cold also is scaling. So I'm essentially double dipping. As far as my character goes, I'm running a Shav's Wrap, mostly so that I can take chaos damage on my energy shield. Also running a Prism Guardian, which is what's allowing me to have 3 things running off of my life, because it's giving me reservation efficiency and also just making it cost reserve life instead of mana. I've got a corrupted version that's essentially giving me +4 to all the AoEs that are socketed in it. So I've got a level 25 Grace and a level 25 Discipline, and at some point I'll get a level 25 Wrath, hopefully. Then Herald of Ice, Purity of Lightning, Purity of Elements, Zealotry. I'm not using Zealotry, but at some point I may figure out a way to wrangle it to where that's in the build. I've got Orb of Storms. I don't know why I still have Orb of Storms. And then Vitality was used earlier in the build, and I just haven't taken it out. Shield Charge, faster attack support, and Clarity. I've started running a Sorrow of the Divine so that in theory I can use my life flask to heal my energy shield. Haven't played with it enough to really see if that's going to make a difference. Jade Flask, Quicksilver Flask, Silver Flask. And then I've got, anti-bleeding on my flask, because I still am not sure if I have to care about bleeding, because everything's hitting my energy shield first. So I don't know, but I really don't have much in the way of a life pool. 176 life, and 3,707 energy shield. The other trick that I'm doing is a Nebulis. I got one with 20%, 20%. So 20% of cold damage per one cold resistance above 75, and the same thing with lightning resistance. So this is giving me like 140% to each of those. So this is only going to get better as I get closer to my goal of 90%. And I mean, essentially, I'm going to throw in another medium cluster to get some more things there. And then start chasing every jewel socket I can get to. So there's one there. There's one there I can probably hit. There's one down here next to a power charger that I can probably hit. Yeah, I'm just trying to stack as many of those as possible, just because one, it scales my damage, and two, it's giving me additional survival, so that in theory it becomes a 90 all. I will always be a glass cannon when it comes to physical damage, because like I think my max fizz hit is like 5,000, which is nothing. So mostly I'm going to try not to get hit, but yeah, like this has been an entertaining build. I knew I wanted to do a brand build with Surfcaster, and I went out and looked at a bunch of builds on PoE Ninja, and then kind of did my own thing based on what I was seeing, because there was like a lot of things. So like I knew I wanted a Shav's wrap so that I could have energy shield deal with chaos damage, and then from there I just tried to figure out what I wanted. I had been running a headhunter, and I switched over to this crystal belt to get some more energy shield, but I might go back to the headhunter just because all of the random headhunter buffs sped up my clear, so that I didn't have to deal with some of the annoyances. And also occasionally I'd get the energy shield buff and then suddenly was just fine and had plenty of energy shield to spare. I am running Ralakesh's Impatience mostly to just always have 3 Endurance, 3 Frenzy, and 4 Power Charges. As I stack more Power Charges, that'll only get better. I think my main hand crit is... It was over... it was around 45-ish, and I dropped some points, but now it's at 38, and that still feels fine. Anyway, like, it's a novel build. Would I play this for realsy in lieu of a more sturdy build? No, I wouldn't. I do not like as squishy as this is, but it's been an entertaining journey, and like, I love brand builds. I keep trying to find ways to make comfy brand builds, and unfortunately, the evasion energy shield nonsense never feels that great to me. So, anyway, I just wanted to record one of these videos because at some point this week, I will probably be transitioning over to Path of Exile 2, and we'll stop caring about Legacy of Phrecia for a bit. And then after POE2 will be Last Epoch, so I may not revisit these characters during this league. Anyway, if you stuck around to this point, thanks for listening, and I will see you next time I record one of these dumb little videos. Bye!